Instagram that the fight was off. Like I said, we was given until 11:59 via the email, and then at 8:04, 8:07, whatever the time was, 8 p.m. around 8 p.m. the fight was canceled via Twitter and Instagram. So that was I don't know how to even express my sorrow for what's going on and what's happening, the whole charade that's going down. But this is I guess this is part of the game. But with me, I'm a fighter, so it's really not too much of a game to me. That's what they're doing. They're trying to make it into a game. I'm ready to make 205 pounds on Friday. I'm ready to knock out Jake Paul in this whole facade. So, you know, that's just what I was here. I wanted to tell y'all, let y'all know. They cut the deadline short on us. They pulled the rug from under my feet, and I feel like 205 is definitely manageable for Friday, and also sticking with the 215 for the next day. As long as I could do it by 12 o'clock, as long as they keep that 12 o'clock in there, it's nothing stopping us from fighting. We both been in long, rigorous training camps. His longer than mine, but I'm definitely ready to move forward, and especially ready to fight this boy.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna leave it the floor open for questions. Dan Canabio, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Dan, okay.
Okay. So Hasim, thanks for doing this, first of all. You've been great. What's going on, buddy? You've been doing this. You've been great for the whole lead up. There was some confusion about what you weighed on July 7th when you accepted the fight, what you weighed on July 12th, which was the day of the press conference. I've seen on Twitter today you mentioned that you were anywhere from 225 to 230. But Jake Paul, right before we sat down to do this, sent me a video to my Twitter of you weighing in that was sent to the commission, that was sent to his team, and you were weighed, I think you weighed in at 216, 217. So what, can we get to the bottom of that? So if you're saying you were at 220 or 225 or 230 on July 7th when you accepted the fight, but this video from Jake Paul to the commission says 215, therefore that means that you didn't really move your weight at all. You didn't lose any weight for the 205. He just released it, so what are your thoughts on that? And you know, the timeline is really funky right now.
I mean,
Junior, I'd like to address this. Okay, this is Greg Cohen, Hasim Rahman Jr.'s promoter. We were required by the New York State Athletic Commission to send 2 pre-weigh-in weight checks, July 22nd and July 29th. We did that. Those were confidential. There was not a stipulation of what we had to weigh. And after the second one on July 29th, the commission came back and said they were not comfortable having the fight be at 200 pounds, and that's when they came up with the 204-pound requirement. And hence, we went to 205, and we were going back and forth. So anything other than the 2 weigh-ins and the 2 video weight checks that were sent to the commission is, I would call that content, and it's irrelevant.
So on July 7th, when he accepted the fight, the story out there is that they needed to see that he was at a certain weight, and Rahman, obviously on the video, was at 216. What was that truth? Was there truth at the fact that he had to weigh a certain time, a certain weight on July 7th for taking the fight? I mean, I don't understand.
I'm not aware of the July 7th video. I can only comment on July 22nd and July 29th. And
so what was his weight on those 2 dates?
I don't know what it was, but I can tell you that
maybe Hasim can answer then. Since it's
July 22nd, I'm not sure what the weight was, but July 29th, which was a few days ago, I sent in the video and I was 215.
Yeah.
So your weight didn't move at all then?
I mean, this is like I was about to say.
He was 232 pounds when this started.
I know. I was at the presser and I was like, this guy is big. He's at least 220 to 225, but that was on July 12th. But on July 7th.
The day of the press conference, we had medicals. You can go back and look at my medicals and see how much I weighed. You can see I was over 220 pounds at the medical when the commission had us do physicals that morning.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that was a part of this. So that's when you know, this whole train really got started. That's when they seen my weight. That's when they seen everything. That's when they had me in person right there and put me on the scale. Other than that, I just been moving forward, doing everything my team has been telling me to do. I stayed on the nutrition diet. I brought everything down like I was supposed to do. But you know, when you get presented with an opportunity like this is something you jump on. This is something that I was definitely ready to take advantage of.
All right, so just to end, I know there's a lot of other questions I wanted to ask. So from July 7th to the 12th, you were 216, or you were 220 or 225 at the presser. And then from that couple days later, you were 218 or 220 or 215, which was fine.
My weight been coming down since the press conference. Never went back up, never fluctuated back above 225. But you also got to look at where I was in the videos. This was after a long run. I had on a big box raw. Shout out to box raw. I had the big trash can thing on. So in drenched in Abilene. So whatever my weight was then, it may have went up or down from July 7th. But that was a day after they called me for the fight, or 2 days after they called me to actually do the fight. So yeah, I'm trying to lose weight because I know weight's coming off. So if that was water weight that had came off and then came back when I hydrated myself, then that's what it was. But either way it go, when they had me officially weigh in the first time for the physical, I was over 220, so they knew. So
you've been at 215 for the majority of this camp, and you were willing to go down to the 205 limit that they say the commission.
215, 214 is about the lowest that I got for this camp. It was not the majority. I worked my way towards it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Finish that point, Hasim. Sorry to cut you off. We're gonna go to the next question.
I said 215 is not where I was for the majority of the camp. That's as low as we got. 215, 214 and a half was pretty much the lowest we got.
Thank you. We're gonna go to Ellie and then Clue. Ellie, you ready?
Hey, Hasim, how you doing? Yeah, I just had that on mute, sorry. Hasim, how you feeling?
Ellie, check back.
Reporting. So you just said that you're willing or you're able to be 205 by Friday? Tell me about that.
I can make 205 Friday and I'll knock Jake Paul out on Saturday. It's not a problem. It's never been an issue. The issue is them coming and giving us all these demands like they've been doing from the jump. They've been trying to railroad me with demands and trying to bully me all around the board. They said, look, you got until, and we have the email here, we have the email evidence here. They said you have until 11:59 or we're gonna scrap the fight and announce that it's over with in the morning, which would have been this morning. They didn't do that. They scrapped the fight at 8:07, and this opportunity was just taken away from me. You know, I don't see I'm in the wrong for trying to get as much as I can. I think anybody in my position would be trying to be getting as much as they can. It's not like I'm trying to sit here and fight for money. I told them the money was not ever a factor. It wasn't the biggest factor or concern in this fight. I would have fought them for the state minimum $5,000.
It's like I'm hearing two different stories. So from your perspective, why is the fight not happening?
I just don't think Jake wants to get in there with somebody that's gonna have a real good chance at beating him. I think that they pulled the plug as soon as they seen that it was a chance that they could. But it wasn't us that brought up the weight. I never agreed to even weigh in for all these different weigh-ins. When they sent me the contract, I agreed to weigh in on August 5th and August 6th. I didn't agree to weigh in July 3 times in order to keep the fight alive. This was never a part of the deal. And this is something that's just been thrust onto us, thrust onto me. Even if I was 25 pounds over today or yesterday, there's athletes that do that. There's ways and people coming in from all around the sport telling me like, look, yo, we can get that off you. That's not a problem. So for them to pull a plug early like that was unfair to me. They told me we got until 11:59 and then they pull a plug at 8:07. That's crazy.
My last question. So do you think the fight could still happen? Is there a way to turn this around and make it happen?
I mean, I think that Jake realizes how much trouble he was in, and what was really about to happen to him. So I don't know if he's willing to do it. But when two fighters are willing to fight each other and are willing to get in there, it shouldn't be a lot, especially at this stage in our careers, to make that happen. You got one fighter over here that's ready, willing, and able to do it. Like I said, I make 205 on Friday. So if it's up to me, then absolutely.
Thank you. We're going to go to Clue and then Barack. Clue, unmute yourself, please.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Appreciate it. Salam. Assalamu alaikum, Rock.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, appreciate you for doing this. So I wonder right off the bat if I could get you to kind of address this notion. I don't know if you heard it, where your man in his little, I guess, response to this was being critical of what he called the unprofessionalism of boxers, professional fighters. And being that I think most of us who, have been around the game, or at least realize this would have been your man Jake Paul's pro debut, the first time ever stepping in the ring against a fighter that had boxed as a professional before. I think we all know how that would have went, but I find it when, and yourself or anybody in your camp or your team can correct me if I'm wrong. To my knowledge, I've never really seen a real fighter pull out a fight a week before in advance. There's been numerous of instances where a fighter, whether it was a quote unquote A-side fighter or the B-side fighter, didn't make weight, and they it gets negotiated, whatever the case may be, on the date of the weigh-in, that you got to give up X percentage of your purse. And like I said, just off the top of my head, I could think of like Loma, I could think of Floyd versus Marquez, I could think of, I think maybe Daniel Jacobs when he fought Canelo. And the fighters, whether it was the A side or the B side, the fight still went on. And so, but I think I remember you said initially when this fight first came on, and I kind of, to be honest with you, felt the same way, not even in hindsight, but when it first happened, that you basically pulled their card or called their bluff, where they weren't expecting you to accept the fight when they first offered it. And you were like, bet, say less. And anybody that knows you, or anybody from your camp, your family, you're a straight shooter. If anything, maybe even to your detriment. So I feel like the fact that you were a real fighter, you have real, a real pedigree and real confidence, where you weren't falling for any of the hokey stuff that he was trying to pull. I think that if anything, it very truly exposed him for really what he is, especially even like you said, trying to call himself an advocate for fighters and everything like this. If you cared about all the fighters on the undercard, if you cared about his legacy or as a professional fighter, the fight would have went on. You would have been penalized if you didn't make 205 or whatever the case may be, but it's clear what they were trying to do, not get the quote unquote the legitimacy or the authenticity of fighting you being attached to your name, even though they never really wanted to go through with it. So I guess, I'm sorry, it took a long time to say, do you believe that he ever intended to truly make it to August 6th and fight you?
I think that, once he seen how I was looking and, him coming into my Instagram, you can see how red he was in the face. So he had already been there watching. People, and I know the people around him, they never seen me like that before. So, that probably had something to do with it. I think, he's like I said from the very beginning, he's a fraud, a phony. He's such an advocate for boxers and boxers pay and all that. And then never mind the pay, but even when it's all over, you calling me unprofessional, but I'm still a potential opponent for you. They already had us locked in to go. So I'm still a potential opponent. And you're gonna tell people not to work with me and not to work with my team and do all this other stuff with the social media. But it's okay, because I know I'm gonna get my hands on them one way or the other. I think the best way would be in a professional boxing ring with the sanctioned bodies. But however they gotta come, it's gonna come. Jake can't run forever, and I really feel like, you know, he's scared. Like you said, like they put a whole bunch of stuff for me to say no from the jump, and I didn't. I took it. I said say less and let's do it. And then they give me this deadline of 11:59 p.m. and then pull the plug at 8:05 or 8:06, 8:07, whatever the time was. They put it 3-4 hours early. That just goes to show, like, all right, well, we got the chance to do it, then let's do it. Let's get out of this. And we go find an MMA fighter to fight. And if they really didn't live up to their word. That's just the real bottom line of it. They really didn't live up to their word or do what they said they was gonna do.
Perfect. We're gonna go to Akhtar Barak, and then ringside.
Hey, what's going on, Hasim? This is Barak.
Barak.
What's going on? Yo, so if you got down to 215, which I didn't even know you got down that low, and you're saying that your body, you know, can't get down to 200, what makes you think you can actually meet that mark at 205 by Friday?
So I've had several people from the boxing community, world champions that I highly respect, and they know what I'm going through. And they know some other methods other than the methods that I've been doing that could get the weight off me.
Gotcha.
You know, I had several people reach out to me like, yo, that's not a problem. You do this, you do that, and you're gonna feel great. And I wasn't afforded the opportunity because the news had dropped that they was changing to 205 before my team even brought it to me. Somebody in the boxing world had said, yo, I heard they moving the weight to, and I was like, dang, for real? I'm like, all right, bet. Then my team brought it to me, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, like everybody know, we said 215. So no, bring it to 215. This was at whatever time, but then they said, you know, you got until 11:59 p.m. to accept this 205, or we pull in the plug. We're gonna cancel the fight and announce that it's canceled in the morning. So, like they've been doing the whole camp, even from the beginning when I said they only gave me 45 minutes to sign the contract. It's the type of tactics that they do. We didn't even get to 11:59. We didn't even get close. To 8:07, they pulled the plug.
So those two, you said, I'm sorry, I got one more question. Those 2 dates that you weighed in, if those dates weren't in the contract, did you have to do it? Did they say that you had to do it? Or could you have said, you know what, just see me on Friday of August 5th and that's it?
That's what I initially said.
I'm going to take this one.
I initially said, you know, I didn't sign up for that. I'm going to see y'all on August 5th. Y'all going to see my weight on August 5th. The last time that I sent the video, clearly it went to their camp. Because clearly his camp is getting all of this stuff. They're the only ones requesting it. They're the ones requesting it from me to supposedly give it to the commission. And then you got his coach weeks ago tweeting about my weight, talking about how much I weigh. How if we sending videos into the commission is 3 weeks ago, BJ Flores, who is Jake's head coach, how is he tweeting how much I weigh and how far out it was in the camp? He did that three weeks ago. Come on, man. If I'm sending something in for the commission, how is his head coach? It's been shady from the jump. So really, we reporting to y'all. So y'all asking for these extra videos, or is they really asking for these videos from the commission? Hasim doesn't know. I'm just doing what I got to do to get in there to fight this man.
Alvina, I want to say something. I want to say something real quick. If you are in the boxing community and you're a boxer or you're a coach, you know that 10 pounds is very doable in a week. Devin Haney, I was in camp with him in Australia. He lost 11 pounds in 2 days, okay? And he's a 135 pounder. You mean to tell me you don't think Hasim could lose 10 pounds in a week? Come on, bro.
Let me chime in here. Assalamu alaikum, Hasim. Yeah, so clear a couple things up for me real quick. So at this point, you say you can make 205, but when they put that, they gave you a deadline for you to agree to that, right? There was an ultimatum, like you have to agree to 205. At the time, why did you counter with a 215 weight with you're already at that weight. You're around 215. So why would you counter a week before the fight to a weight that you're already at and not counter like 210, 207 or something? Or would you counter something that was so far off of what they was trying to get?
I mean, I felt like they was gonna come. I felt like they was gonna come with something more than 205. I'm clearly, if I'm 215 now, then I can come down some more. So I'm thinking they're gonna see it logically and come to something. Come to 212. Come to 210. I don't know how much.
So that was a strategy, that like a negotiation strategy. You said, we're gonna go high. We're gonna meet somewhere.
That's
so you think that was a mistake? In hindsight, you think that was a mistake, and you should have just said, okay, I'll do 205.
But this the thing. When somebody tells you that you have until 11:59 to we talking and you got until 11:59 to agree to this. If not, then it's off the table. And they take it off the table at 8 o'clock. It's like, how can I look and regret anything when they the ones that jumped the gun? They the ones that faulted what they said. I didn't even get a chance to say, all right, I got it. I'll give it to y'all. Y'all got 205. We see y'all on Friday, 205.
So how long was that window? How much time did you have?
Man, it wasn't even, it was from probably around like 5, 6 o'clock, I believe. I'm not sure what time it was. We can look in the email and see. But
it was from about noon, a little before noon Eastern to 8 o'clock Eastern.
So
and we were going back and forth.
So 8 hours to make the decision on whether you were going to agree to 205. That's pretty much what it was, right?
12 hours. If it was noon, that's 12 hours.
No, he said 12. I thought he said 12 to 8.
No, I received the email at just a little before noon, and it had a 11:59 Eastern time deadline, and the announcement went out around 8 o'clock at night.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
So,
I'm gonna go. Do you have another question before I go to ringside?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, amazing.
Thanks,
Thank you. Ringside.
Hi, Eric Lorta from Ringside Reporter.
Hi, Eric.
How you doing? Hasim, let me ask you a question. How much did you weigh when you signed for the fight?
When I signed for the fight, I was in the high 220s because they had told me about it probably. I didn't get a lot of time, but I knew about the fight maybe a day and a half before I signed the contract. Okay. And I had just immediately tried to start coming down. So when I signed, I believe I was in the high 220s or mid to high 220s, somewhere around there. But I'm not a guy that is, so far above my weight, which my weight class was Bridgerweight, 224, that has to monitor his weight ever. I never had to monitor my weight. And to make Bridgerweight, I clearly wouldn't have to monitor my weight. And like the commission seen the other day, I just sent them in a video on Friday or Saturday. I sent them in a video and I was 215. So I definitely was in striking distance. And during the time that our teams were going back and forth, they gave us until 11:59, and then unbeknownst to me, they canceled it.
Did you think, knowing what it's your body, you know it better than anybody else. When you signed that contract, did you think you could get down to the 200-pound limit?
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought I could do it with the right help. I knew I needed help. Part of this whole thing is that they dragged their feet with helping me. They said that they were helping me, then they dragged their feet helping me. So it throws everything off. But I'm not one of excuses. I don't have no excuses. I told them my body feel, I felt difficulty. But with it being difficult, that don't mean that to turn off the fight, to take the whole fight off. I'm just letting them know that, let them know the answer to the questions that they ask.
When you say they were going to help you, are you referring to like Jake Paul's people were going to help you, or your nutritionist that you hired were going to help you?
Jake Paul's people with actual finances and me being able to hire people like I did, and I hired a great team and we did great work. And it's just like the job goes undone now because they gave me an 11:59 deadline and then they pulled the plug at 8 o'clock, which is like that's just it's crazy to me.
Interesting. Thank you so much, champ.
Thank you so much. We're going to go to Jorge.
Hasim, one question. This fight was called off yesterday. It's Sunday. If Jake called you right now, would you accept 205s?
Absolutely.
That was
If they wouldn't have pulled the plug early yesterday, they would have waited till 11:59. I would agree to 205.
That was my question.
Why not agree to it right away though, Hasim? I'm sorry to cut you to jump back in. I just want to get this clear so we can talk about it on the show tomorrow. I need to know, like to Serafina's point, you know,
I honestly thought they was gonna give me more. I thought they was gonna give me more. And even though, you know, there's fines involved. So the most I could get, you know, I'm a fighter and I'm the only one in that ring. So I'm gonna get as much as I'm gonna get as close to whatever I can, the most I can get that I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna do that. I'm not just no peon. You're not just no peon.
So this wasn't, hold on, this wasn't this was via email. You weren't on the phone with anybody on Jake's team negotiating verbally. It was an email and you never got a chance to respond to it, you're saying. Oh no, you did counter and say.
No, I wasn't. We wasn't on the phone. I wasn't on the phone with nobody. I wasn't a part of all that. Like me and Jake not on the phone going back and forth. Me and nobody is on the phone going back and forth. Matter of fact, when his team really hit me, I really direct them to the people that take care of my stuff. I'm not really directly talking to anyone. So
no, but this is what I'm saying. Hasim. But you just mentioned that on the way-in, you deal with the consequences then, right? If you
exactly.
I'm gonna address that point. I'm gonna address that point. I'm gonna address that point.
Hold on, let me finish my question. So if pardon me, if that's the case, why not just say the commission set this weight, right? They weren't comfortable with what you were weighing. They said 204, 205. Why not just say, yeah, I'll agree to that and deal with the consequences on Friday if you're 207, if you're 210, and deal with the fines then. Why give them, a heads up that I might not make the weight?
Well, why did they offer me 11:59 deadline? It's like
no, but I'm saying, but just for you to agree to 205, right? That was the deadline. Why not just say yes right away?
There was actually more. There was more than just the 11 than the 205. Stipulation in the new agreement that they sent.
There was the rehydration. You gotta think there's rehydration stuff too that's in there.
No, and there were penalties.
Yes,
there were penalties and other things in there.
Well, okay, so now we're getting answers. There's other things that played a part in it, which is why you didn't agree right away. All right.
That's part of his negotiation process.
Not only the rehydration weight, but the rehydration time. All that has to be. You know what I'm saying? They try to play games with that, so I'm not just gonna jump at the first thing I did. Like I already made that mistake with y'all before. Y'all get me into 11:59 p.m. Okay, that's cool. And like I said, they pulled the plug. And we said they pulled the plug. Like I really feel like they were looking for a way out. And
I don't think anybody would advise the fighter to say yes right away anyway. So that was just
I'm just being real with y'all. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna sit here and go straight out the bag and just take whatever they give me.
There were a lot of things. There were a lot of factors in the beginning. There were a lot of factors in the beginning that forced him into this and agreeing to 200 that were outside of his control. I'll tell you that as an insider, that there were a lot of things that had nothing to do with Greg, that had nothing to do with Hasim, that had everything to do with the powers that be to force him into this fight, agreeing to 200 pounds. You know, there were a lot of people that made promises that shouldn't have made promises. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people making promises to him, telling him, "Oh, we'll get the weight raised," all the bullshit, and they didn't do what they could say because they didn't have the power to do that. So they blackmailed him into this fight pretty much at 200 pounds. Now, when me and Hasim talked, you know, he was willing to take the weight off. And he did. He got off, you know, he came down from the high 20s. Now he's 215, you know, within 3 weeks. You know, that's saying a lot. You got to put in some type of work to take off that kind of weight.
I mean,
You know?
anybody that seen me at the press conference and then seen me at my media day, you can see there's a clear difference. Even just looking online. I
Absolutely.
mean, for them to come out and even try to put the narrative out there that I only lost 1 pound in all that time is just...
That's not true. That's all false. That's totally false.
I mean, you can look at me
false.
and see. You can look at me and see. Even if it don't matter, there was a lot of people that were at both in New York and in Vegas for the press conference and the media day. There's a lot of people that was at both. And
in the beginning, Hasim, they lowballed him so crazy when they offered Tommy Fury $2 million and they offered my man $250. That's like spitting in his fucking face. And then you want him to come down to 200 pounds? Come on, bruh.
What about the questions that you want to come down to 200 pounds and all this, but you did sign the contract? I mean, there's contracts are out there, you sign it, that's what you do. But then you are going to go back on some of the stipulations that were in the contract.
This is the thing, I didn't go back on it. I wasn't the one that asked for the weight checks. I didn't ask for the weight checks. I never agreed to do no weight checks. Mm-hmm. I never agreed to have my weight monitored for all the entirety of the camp. I didn't know that was what was going to happen.
But was that in the contract? I mean, it's not something as your team should look over. I mean, your contracts are contracts.
That was not in the contract.
Let me address that.
If we didn't go through with it, they was going to pull a fight. If we didn't go through with that, they would pull a fight. So, I mean, what do you want me to do? Even though it's not in the contract, we want me to not hop on the scale and cancel the fight 3-4 weeks out? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Junior, let me address that issue, okay? That was a commission issue. That was not a negotiated point. That was a commission issue. When you have a fighter who just fought at 224 pounds, coming down to 200, the commission's viewpoint was it's a lot of weight to lose, and they wanted to look out from their perspective to make sure they were covering their rear end, regarding it being a healthy weight cut. So that was not in the contract, and that was something that came up after the fact, that the commission gave us 2 weight check dates in addition to August 5th.
Now, is there any truth to the rumor that the commission, New York State Commission, was fine, was never said no to 215 pounds?
The New York Commission didn't comment. They said they would not sanction this fight for less than 204 pounds. Now look, everybody here knows boxing. Anything over 200, if you're 201 ounce, you're a heavyweight, and that's unlimited. So anything over 200, I'm sure they would have sanctioned.
I mean, they said that they sent the contract for 205, so it's clearly,
But 205 is technically a heavyweight.
Right, and MVP's comment said that they were fine with 205, but the commission pulled the plug on it. They were kind of saying, this is the New York State Commission pulled on, but there's, from some people that I've talked to, said that the commission also never said no to 215 pounds. They were fine with it being at 215, which is the weight that the team seems like he's at right now. So that,
and that's why they saying that the commission accepting 205, we saying the commission is accepting 215, and they're like, well, we're gonna pull the plug, as opposed to.
Well, that's what's being discussed, yeah.
They gave it to us they gave us until 11:59. Okay, y'all got 205, we got 215. The commission not saying nothing about either one, and y'all just pull the plug at 8 o'clock. Y'all didn't even give us until the deadline to respond, to say, okay, all right, y'all got it. All right, we'll do 205. We're going to do it, and we would have sent that in 11:30, 11:45. So y'all don't have to do press release tomorrow and all this, but they jumped the gun and got all mad and got to putting videos and all that other stuff out. So, like I said, they pulled the rug from under my feet.
Did you think he just did not want to fight you even at 215?
I know he don't, man. I don't think he wanted to fight me at 200 for real. I think that he thought that, me having a not as long a time with him in training camp was going to benefit him, but they see what they was going to have to deal with come August 6th. They seen it. They just seen a little bit, and you could tell from his reaction just throughout this whole thing. I've been under his skin. He's done less to quote unquote rattle me than he has with any of his other opponents, I believe. I think everything I do, he on top of it. Everything I do, he got a reaction to it. So, that just goes to show you who's winning that battle. And the first battle one is the mental. So I don't think he can beat me in a mental warfare, and I don't think he can beat me in fisticuffs.
A lot of fans want to know what's next for you. They responded to my tweet when I said that where you're doing this press conference. They want to know what's next. They want to see you in the ring. So what is next for you?
Man, I don't know if this is a postponement. I don't know if this is he completely just shit scared to fight me. But I'm moving forward. I'm still in the gym. I'm not about to get out the gym. Like I said, I can make weight on Friday.
Thank you. We're going to go to Steve with TMZ. But guys, I just want to make sure you're clear on this point. Like Hasim said, he didn't even find out that the fight was canceled until he looked at Twitter. No one officially let the Hasim Rahman Jr. camp know that the fight was off. He found out on Twitter at 8:07 when they posted it.
And that's still the case. Like, I still haven't gotten any formal, cancellation of the fight or anything. The only thing that we got to go on is Twitter. His promotional company's Twitter and his Twitter, but nobody sent me anything official or formal saying that, the fight was canceled for whatever reason. They did say that if we didn't sign, we had until 11:59 p.m. to sign, but they didn't give us until the deadline. They canceled it online 3-4 hours early.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, Hasim, you guys come from very different backgrounds. Obviously, you've got the boxing pedigree. A couple years ago, this guy's a YouTuber. We know the backstories. Any regret in your mind, even, getting in and wanting to do business with Jake Paul?
The only thing I could really say is I had a tremendous amount of respect for what he was doing. And what he's done until I got on the inside. And now I see how many strings can be pulled and all this different type of stuff that he tries to do to give himself an advantage and him not really giving a fair shake. Also, with his comments about trying to pretty much blackball me from boxing, telling people not to do any fights with me. I'm a young black fighter. Well, I'm not that young no more. I'm 31 years old. But I'm a black fighter in America. And, I don't know how he feed his. I'm not no YouTuber, but this is what my family eats off of. This is what what our family has been eating off of for decades now. So for him to do that, I lost a tremendous amount of respect for him, and now it will be my goal for him not to see the final bell. It will be a personal goal for him not to see the final bell if we ever get in there. Throughout this whole promotion, I said I could knock him out. I may knock him out, maybe a knockout. I don't really know what's going to happen. But now, given his new antics, if he ever gets in the ring with me, he's not going to see the final bell.
And one more from me. What would you say to Jake? If Jake was going to watch this, what's your message to Jake Paul?
Jake's just stop being scared, Jake. We got a lot of people out there watching us. We got a lot of people out there that look up to you. A lot of people out there that look up to me. Stop being scared. Be a man. Put the gloves on. Stop being scared. It's that simple. You get in a fight with a real fighter, man. Get in there, get your ass whooped, and then go ahead back to YouTube.
Thanks, Hasim.
Thank you, Steve Robert. Does anyone else have a question before we leave? I know, Clue, you had one. Did anyone else who has not spoken want to get a quick question before we wrap?
Yeah, I got a quick question. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Ellie.
So it seems like this whole situation has split the whole boxing world on social media. 50% of the fighters supporting you, 50% of the fighters supporting Jake. What do you make of that, Hasim?
I don't make too much of it. It's I've been focused on the fight. I've had fighters that I picked in fights, and I don't take it personal. It is what it is. Whoever wants to side with Jake can side with Jake. That's fine, but they're gonna come up on the short end of the stick. I've been doing this for a long time, and I think that even now, no matter what happens, the people are gonna demand that me and Jake Paul get in there. That's a fight that people definitely want to see, and it's not going anywhere. I don't think. The only way this fight doesn't happen, like I said, is if Jake Paul doesn't want it to happen. When you get two people that want to fight each other, they fight. You know, especially at this stage that we at. The fight is very makeable. We already made the fight. We agree on the weight. It's just his team jumping the gun early, telling us we got until 11:59 to agree to 205, and then pulling the plug at 8:07. That's just crazy. It's just crazy to me the way they did that. And I just want the public to know, and that I wanted to be out there that that's what actually happened. That's what is actually going on.
Thank you.
I got a quick one. It's bizarre to me that how could you have agreed if the deal was restructured? Wouldn't a new contract have to be drafted? And if that wasn't the case, then how could you even agree to the new deal if a new contract wasn't drafted and you had nothing to sign?
I believe that they was drafting.
I'll take that. There was a new contract drafted, and it was sent to me and my attorney, our team, and we were going through it.
You have to read it. You have to look at it. You don't just make a snap decision like that. I would agree.
You know, and also look, this is not a dictatorship. We have to discuss it. We're a team. Have to talk to Junior. Have to talk to his father. You know, there's people involved in the process. You don't just get a contract emailed to you and say, okay, we're signing it and sending it back. Thank you.
And that's what I've been saying that they've been doing for the whole time since the beginning. I've been saying that they literally gave me less than an hour to even agree to do this fight from the very beginning. I said it in multiple interviews. I had like 45 minutes to answer. It was a take it or leave it offer, no negotiation. And that's just how they try to operate. They're just trying to bully, and they're trying to bully their way in the boxing world. But once he gets in there with a real boxer, he's going to be exposed. That's exactly what I was about to do to this man.
It almost seems like...
I'm still willing to do it. Like I said, I still get on the scale 205 on Friday.
It almost seems like this was an unconscionable contract because they were giving you zero negotiating ability here, and they wanted you to just say yes to everything. And even when you just tried to counter with things, they wouldn't even... I've just never heard of something being so stringent like that where you couldn't even negotiate.
y'all see what he come out and say. He come out and say that we the worst people in the world to deal with. We was a total nightmare, total headache or whatever. But, you know, throughout this entire thing, where the press been? The press been here with they can't get Jake on the line. Jake ain't been doing a whole bunch of... Jake go on there and say one thing and then get off. You know, I've been doing majority of the pushing for this fight. I've been doing the majority of the talking to the media for this fight. And it just mind blows me how they say that we the ones that's unprofessional. We the ones that have been hard to work with. How when
from the beginning, it's been a gun to his head.
We took this fight on short notice, and we did everything that they asked me to do. I didn't turn down nothing. I didn't turn down anything. I took it all. Every stipulation that they set, I took it. But we the worst to deal with, and then try to stop me from keep fighting. How you gonna try to stop me from keep fighting? That's crazy. That's a hater if I ever seen one.
Is there any truth to the rumors that the fight wasn't selling well, wasn't trending well, pay-per-view sales weren't where they wanted them to be? You know, Jake Paul's all about numbers, he's all about image. Any rumors to that?Maybe Greg, you can answer, Sarah or Hasim.
Listen, I have no idea, and I have to tell you,
we don't even know. We haven't even been informed.
Our deal was Hasim Rahman Jr. agreed to a fee to fight Jake Paul. We had not one penny of upside on ticket sales, not one penny of upside on pay-per-view.
Nothing.
So it's really...
It didn't matter to us.
I have no knowledge of how it was doing, but I will tell you, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and 99% of pay-per-view buys happen the day of the event. So I have, really, there's no way to know that.
Right, the ticket sales though, that's something you could see.
Not you. I'm not privy to the box.
We weren't even given access.
I will tell you that I'm his promoter. I will tell you that they told me that I could not have any seats in any section in the front row because they weren't available. Okay.
Facts.
and they let me have 2 seats in the second row. That's all they could spare because there was nothing
Wouldn't
available.
barely give us any hotel
So,
rooms, nothing for his mother, nothing for his wife, nothing for his family,
So
nothing.
if that's the case, then I ask this again. If that's the case, then why did you sign the contract?
Because when he beats him, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. When he beats him, he's on top of the world.
Let's wrap up,
speak,
guys.
please.
We have
Let me
to wrap
speak,
this
please.
up. Let us just go to the last question so we can wrap this up.
I just want to say one thing, okay? And this is really simple.
Thank you.
Hasim Rahman Jr. not only wanted this fight, made it very clear, and I made it clear in writing, okay, yesterday, he will take this fight. If he missed weight, he would have fought for nothing, okay? Nothing, zero, whatever the minimum the commission would allow him to fight for, because he knows that when he performs and he knocks Jake Paul out, now he's a superstar.
I agree, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the rub.
Thank you.
He gets the rub from Jake Paul.
Thank you. Clue, do you want to go? This is the last question. I want to thank you all. Clue, do you want to go?
Okay, yeah, I will. Just real quick. So,
real quick. Thank you.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Rock, yourself or a member of your team, you kind of answered it, but I just wondered if you could just straight for the fans, anybody that's watching, if, tomorrow, next week, a month from now, they say, okay, you can be 215, whatever, would you still, basically what I'm saying is this in your rearview mirror and you're beyond Jake Paul and you're going to go back to your, I don't want to say legitimate career, but fighting, whether it's Kaboom, weight title, whatever the case may be, and considering how they stacked the deck against you, how all these, stipulations and conditions they demanded that you meet, would you, basically, do you have any regrets, or would you still do business with Jake Paul if they gave you, a level playing field? Would you still want to fight him, and if so, why? Is it just for the notoriety of his casual fans, or?
That right there should be the narrative that people are trying to push. He wants to push the narrative to blackball me from boxing. What people should, in boxing, in the boxing world, how they should respond was, no, we're not gonna blackball him from boxing. Why don't you fight him in a fair fight or in a real fight? They say anything you sign on paper is fair. Okay, so be it. Let's do what the last piece of paper they sent me said. We're gonna fight at 205. That's fine with me. Make that and we get it on. It's absolutely not a problem with me to do business with him, because at the end of the day, the business it's a hurt business, so I get to hurt him at the end of the day. That would be my response to that. I'm definitely highly interested in hurting this man, and it would not be at a detriment to me to do it at 205 pounds. I'm ready to do that. Like I said, I'll make 205 pounds on Friday.
Thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming at such short notice. We just thank you so much for your cooperation, and our entire team thanks you very much. Myself, Hasim, Junior, Greg, and Sarah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
See you guys soon. Thank you.
You're welcome.